Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. So I'm back to working on the 1,000 subscriber giveaway prize. So as you remember from the first video, if you've seen that, if not I will link it below. I'm turning this planner set thing into a Lapbook Folio. So I've done a little bit more work since you last saw it, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what I'm thinking, because today we're going to have a look at fancying up the cover. So although I love this pattern on it, it doesn't really go with the purple kit that I'm using, which as you can see is kind of like this, lots of flowers and purples. So here's what I'm thinking. So obviously this needs cutting down. It's not going to have as big a purple border, if at all. I haven't quite decided whether it should have any purple border, but basically this is the front image. So if you imagine, that will be sitting like that. So you still see these beautiful flowers on the left hand side. But of course we need something for this flappy part. Now what I thought is about having a snippet roll down the side, fancied up with some laces, and then of course we're going to embellish it with buttons and sparkly things and really nice pretty things. So it's just going to be like an ornamental decorative part, if you think of it like that. And then what I'm thinking is the closure is going to be some purple sari trim, which is going to then run underneath the snippet roll all the way around the back and then tie with a bow in the front. That's kind of what I'm thinking. You know, if all goes to plan, because as per usual, these are very much ideas in my head, which, you know, may or may not work. So we're going to work on the snippet roll today. Now I do have to film this in bits because I'm going to need to do some stitching. You could glue your snippet rolls. That's no problem. I personally prefer just to stitch because, you know, I've got the sewing machine, so I might as well use it. But what I'm going to do now is just start putting down some laces, preferably like whites and creams. That's what I've pulled out from my scrap box. And we're then going to stitch that, or I'm going to go off and stitch it, and then when I come back we'll then fancy it up with some beads and some pretty things. So let's just get going, I suppose. So there's not really any real plan as to how these things should look. It's just, you know, they come out as they do kind of a thing. I'm sure you've seen lots of people do snippet rolls. They're nothing, you know, I'm not pretending this is anything new. It's definitely not. And I'm just going to start popping some things down. I don't think I need as much as I pulled actually. And then yeah, we'll just build upon it. I've only actually done one snippet roll in the past. And I made this long one in pinks and purples. So this will be my first one that I'm doing of more natural kinds of materials, I guess. Not materials, but colours. Neutrals. But I figure you can't really go wrong with lace, in my opinion. So, you know, start there and then, yeah, we'll just build it up. Now what I did think is I've got some pretty laces here, and I did think about having almost like because it's going to be on the cover, I did wonder about having like a decorative border along the side maybe. So once I've got all these down, I'll just pin them to the fabric, and then yeah, we can I can go off and just sew them straight down. So I hope you're all doing well. The sun has come out today, blue skies, which I'm very excited about. Spring is on its way at last. I don't think I want to use any like tiny bits. I'm just checking you could see that. My throat is a bit croaky today. Don't worry, I'm sure I'm not coming down with something again. That would be ridiculous. That is not happening. We're not going to allow that to happen. Yeah, so thanks so much for joining me. I'm really excited by this folio. It's, you know, it's one of those things that's coming together slowly but surely, really. But yeah, I'm very very excited for it. And yeah, based on your comments on the last video, it seems like a lot of you are excited for it too. You said some nice things about the kit that I'm using and stuff like that, so I'm glad to hear it, because obviously this is I am working on something to give somebody, so one of you lucky lot. Once we hit the 1,000 subbies, which it's slowly but surely, obviously, what was I saying? The number goes up and down, with each day. It's it's just how these things go. It's we get in there. There we go. What else? So I used some upholstery fabric for the base, just because it was nice and sturdy, but also because of the colour tone. It was neutral enough, I thought, to just pile some laces on top. Sort of got lots of white and lots of cream. I don't know, I'm not doing that on purpose. I am just putting these down without any real thought, because I think that's the point. Right, I want to put a piece here, a bit of a, what colour's that? Well, like this one. This is my favourite lace. I have about I bought 5 meters of this lace. It's really soft. It's so lovely. Love it. That will be what I use most of the time on the spines, when I'm covering up my binding. I just love it. It's so soft. So let's pop a piece of that in there if we can. There we go. So yeah, I mean, don't be put off by how it looks at the moment. I know it looks a bit, what is she doing? But they really do come together once you give it time and you do work on them. And the great thing about the snippets is, we're using up our scraps so that you don't, it is what it is. You sort of build it up, with each piece that you add. And of course we're going to pop in some pretty, buttons and things. And I'll show you, I've started taking apart some of the saris that I got a little while ago. I've got things like this, which I'm thinking, I don't know, could we? Being purple, it's got purple velvet in the background, but look at that sparkle. Oh, I do love sparkle. But you know that already. So yeah, we might be able to put something on there. But I'm also going to use like buttons and things, because obviously that's quite heavy. So I think being this smaller size, really, we only probably want a little piece of it, not the whole thing. I mean, I would happily do the whole thing, but I don't think that's going to be practical. Let me just move that one over. So is that the whole thing covered? Yes, but I think I want, well, I mean, that could be where we start putting decorative bits, isn't it? I think I'll just put something down. I've got quite a straight line there, so I'm thinking, have I got a lace that has a decorative edge? I'll tell you what I've realised that I've done is I've gone very much, everything is like vertical, isn't it? I don't know, does that matter? I've got this. Ooh. Can we put this in somewhere? Is it too much? I quite like the sparkle though. Standard me, I love the sparkle. All right, let's see about that. Yeah, so I'm not gluing anything, and that's just because I don't like the smell of using Fabri-Tac too much. I really don't like the smell. And because I'm going to stitch them, I thought I'll just stick some pins in this, try capture each of the materials, and then we'll just go to the sewing machine. And then this could do with a little bit more layering, and I'm thinking I've got some of this. So yeah, it gets quite fat, chunky snippet rolls, don't they? Once you start building up the layers, they get, gets quite a lot going on, but I love them. As I said, I've made paper snippets before. Fabric ones I've only done one. So you're not learning from a master right now. I'm just, you know, going with the flow and seeing what I can come up with. And using up some of my scraps at the same time, which is always a good thing. What do you think? Is that enough? Don't know. Yeah, I think that's probably plenty, isn't it? I mean, that is quite a lot of lace on there. So the fun job now, what do you reckon? Am I going to get these pins in there without dislodging everything? Let's just start going for it. Oops. I'll just have to put a lot of pins in, but that's okay. It is what it is, like I don't mind. Normally, I actually do the snippets straight at the sewing machine. So I'll start with my base fabric and I just start, yeah, I just go for it. This will be the first one that I'm actually sitting down, seeing the whole thing in one go kind of a thing. But you know, that doesn't bother me. Just gonna put that one in a little bit more. Okay. Because this is going to be on the cover, I quite liked the idea of having this lacy border down the side. If I can get it to play ball. Let's see. Oops. Dislodged it. Oh, this is going to be fun to watch, isn't it? As I try and figure out how to stick the pins in the base fabric. Okay. I can always cut it down, I suppose. I don't really want to do that, but we'll figure it out. And because it's on the cover, I don't mind if it peeks over the side a little bit. That's fine by me. So here we go. So I'd love to know what you're all working on this week. Obviously my videos this week I think are more on the relaxing side of things, where I'm just having a little bit of fun at my desk. So I hope that's I hope it's not too boring. It's just, yeah, I'm a bit tired. You know, I'm coming to the end of the 2 big projects that I've been doing the beginning of the year. And yeah, I just, before getting stuck into the Flower Fairies journals, because I mentioned to you before that I was only going to do 1 Flower Fairies journal and then move on to some projects that I started last year that, you know, need finishing and stuff. Yes, more of them. I'm terrible for not finishing things. But when I started then looking at Flower Fairies stuff, it turned into three journals that I'm now planning. So, I mean, you know, these things happen, don't they? And I'm really excited for each of them. And they are different. Each of them are different. So it's not that I'm going to get bored or anything, I don't think. But yeah, it's just, you know, I'm sure that I'm not the only one who plans a journal and then it morphs into multiple. Just, we get excited by all the stuff, don't we? Have I got all the bits in? No, pin there. So yeah, I have to be conscious at the sewing machine of, you know, the laces slipping and things, but just as long as I've got all the bases covered with these pins, then I can make it work. It will all work out, hopefully. Famous last words. How many times do I say that? Yeah, I do like to jinx myself. What do you think? Is that all of them done? Maybe a pin there, just that bit. Yeah, I mean, I could have made clusters with all the bits of scraps that I've got, because I'll show you. We love looking at stuff, don't we? This is my fabric scraps. Terrible, huh? Fabric and laces in there and little trimmy type things. And I thought, yes, I could make like 100 clusters, but I thought, you know, maybe I should try one of these snippets, or try several snippets. And then I thought actually they would make a really nice cover piece. Something really special from me to you. Okay, so that I think is all pinned down-ish. relatively. So enough for me to take it across to the sewing machine. So I'll get going with that. And then we'll come back and we'll start adding in beads, buttons, embellishment type bits. Yeah, I think that would look really cool. Just to make it, yeah, a statement piece. And that will act as part of the, not part of the closure. I did think about that. I did think about, you know, should we put an eyelet through and have a closure? I think I saw Tanya from Tatty Treasure do that recently. But then I thought I wanted to use the sari trim. And then I thought, actually, I'm just going to put an extra bit of lace in just because I've got a gap there. Yeah, and then I thought, actually, I'm going to have the sari trim go underneath. And then, yeah, this could just be simply a decorative element. It's not serving a purpose, or it won't serve a purpose as such. All right then, okay. I'm going to hit pause. I'll be right back. And I'm back, and the snippet is all stitched up. So just whilst I had you on pause, obviously I've done all the stitching, and then I just chopped the top and the bottom because I realised it was quite a bit longer once I'd added all the laces. So I thought I would have it this way round so that this peeks over the side here. And then this fluty edge, I thought potentially could wrap around and glue to the spine section just here, potentially. I haven't completely decided on that just yet because I want to see how it looks with the closure. But for the time being, we need to go ahead and stitch all of our pretty pieces on. So I've got some pretty pieces here, which I thought we would pop on. So here's what I'm thinking. So I've got this from some sari. Obviously, yes, I love the purples and I just felt like it had to be done. So I'm thinking about potentially having this in the middle, something like that. I've got some applique flowers, which I thought could be a nice decorative element without being too in your face, because obviously this is quite a statement piece, I suppose. And then I was thinking about putting something in the middle of the flowers. So I've got some sparkly jewels, which I thought might look nice. So that's a maybe. I've got a few of those, and I thought I probably would dot some around on the actual snippet roll as well, like, you know, in the corner or something. Or we could go with buttons, which I'm less fussed about, I think, mainly because they don't really match. You know, they're not matching buttons, which is not an issue, but it's just because they're sort of diagonally apart. So I'm thinking, maybe not. And then the other alternative is to have these little seed beads in the middle. So I still do like the buttons, but I'm not really feeling that. So I think I might go with the seed beads. Let's see how it would look if you had the seed beads without the buttons. Just check. Yeah, you can just about see that, can't you, if I move it up. And then we would have the little gems, the little gems dotted around. Could maybe even have a few of these, maybe. That's probably too much. And then the other alternative is to have these in the middle of the flowers. I quite like the beads, I think. Yeah, I think they look quite nice. So we'll just sort of see once we start stitching the things on, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So first of all, I'm going to get the statement piece stitched down in the middle. So obviously this is hand stitching, so I appreciate if you want to skip forward or, you know, not watch this bit, then I totally understand, because I'm going to have to hand stitch it. I did wonder whether to take it through the machine, but it's just because it's got so many gems and beads on that I just didn't trust myself with, you know, being delicate with it on the sewing machine and not getting my needle caught. So I thought best hand stitch. Truth be told, I'm not exactly sure exactly where I'm stitching, so I just thought we'll just go with it and partly with this, it's kind of, you know, it will look very sort of slow stitchy type of a thing, won't it? But if I keep close to these gems, then, you know, that might work fine. I'll just do like a back stitch or something, I think, and that should hold it on quite securely, whilst not taking away from the design, I think is what I'm thinking. So that's that. Just double check. Appreciate this isn't, you're not going to be able to see a huge amount, but I thought, you know what, yeah, I thought I could just do this on my own. I would just play some music or watch TV, but I know a lot of you like to see how things come together and stuff, so I thought let's just pop the camera on anyway. And for those of you who want to see the whole thing come together, you can watch, and for those of you who just want to see the finished piece, that's cool too. You'll just have to wait a bit longer. So I'm not sure how long this is going to take me to do, you know, the whole folio. But it's coming along quite nicely. I think because I'm able to sort of split it down into bite-sized chunks, I suppose. That's been quite nice. You know, like getting like each panel is its own task, I suppose. You know, choosing it, printing, maybe stitching around, that type of a thing. Yeah, each like piece of ephemera is obviously its own thing. And I appreciate with journals you can split them down into bite-sized chunks, like normal journals. But I don't know, this one just feels a little bit more modular to then become something. So, but yeah, I'm excited for this snippet. I think it will look very dramatic on the front. But I also want it to look, you know, beautiful, but yeah, very, very dramatic, I suppose. And it actually, to be fair, it's really nice to be able to just do a little bit of hand stitching as well. You know, I love using my sewing machine because it's quick and easy, but I do like to just sit here sometimes and just, I suppose, you know, when you do clusters, the thought of just building up these layers of fabrics and then sort of stitching on a button, it's very therapeutic actually, just to sit here and do this. So yeah, this is the type of project that I wanted to do this week. Is just, yeah, nice, easy, relaxing, therapeutic type of a thing, and gives me a chance to have a good old natter, I suppose. So I'm actually filming this second part on a different day. I was going to do it on the same day, but I'm having issues with my laptop at the moment. So I've had to go out and buy a new laptop because my my old one, my current one, it's just gone completely kaput. And of course I use my laptop for my normal work every day. So, you know, it's essential to what I'm about. But on top of that, it means that I can't edit videos because I use a desktop software to edit my videos. I do minimal edits, as you know. I don't like to do too much because, well, mainly actually it takes a long time to edit videos. So I think in the beginning when I was doing YouTube, I thought it was the right thing to do to, you know, speed up. So stuff like this, I would have either not filmed it or sped it up and played music. And I mean, that some people like that kind of thing. I like the videos where people are, you know, chatting away as they're doing something. Not necessarily about their everyday life. I think sometimes that can get a bit tedious, but if they're talking about their work or their crafting or, you know, something really relevant to what they're doing or, you know, why you're watching them, then I quite like that. Personally, but everyone's different. And also it takes a long time to edit videos, you know, with that kind of editing where you're playing music or speeding things up. Until I did it, I didn't really sort of respect, I suppose, how long it actually takes, because you just don't know. It really takes a long time. So those YouTubers who do, you know, speed up their videos or have them very edited, you know, all the more power to them, because I couldn't do it, just with the amount of time it takes. And, you know, I appreciate some people will prefer the highly edited videos where, you know, they just get on with the craft and you learn something in 20 minutes, when actually the video is probably going to be more like an hour and a half if it wasn't edited. But, you know, yeah, I veer more towards, I like to hear the person chatting away and explaining their decisions for things and all of that, but maybe less so on the personal stories side. But that's just me. We're all different. And I have no idea how I even got talking about that. I don't even know what started that part of this conversation, actually, which, you know, I guess that's how conversations work, don't they? You just start nattering away about something, and before you know it, the conversation is veered towards something that you didn't see coming, and you're like, how did we even start talking about this? But anywho, so yeah, I'm just stitching away. I'm just following this bead line, basically, only because I thought that would be easiest and quickest, and hopefully it doesn't detract too much from the pretty pattern. I think with it being very dramatic, with all the dark velvet and the gems and the silver and gold threads, I think I'm getting away with it. Ideally, I probably should have used maybe a really dark purple thread, but I don't think I have one. I might have done, thinking about it, but I'm not sure if I do. I think I just grabbed this one because it was already on my desk. So I thought, you know, use what's here. I'm in this new frame of mind now of trying to use what I have as best I can, because I've accumulated a lot of stuff over this past year. And, you know, I think I've said this before, when I very first started junk journaling, I tried to follow a bunch of tutorials, and I thought you needed just like everything that they've got and all that kind of a thing. And then, you know, over the course of learning more about who I am as a creator and that kind of a thing, you just start to get a better feel for what you actually use and what you don't use. So I thought, I figured now, and I've just flicked that needle somewhere. I have no idea where that just went. So I might have to click pause after all, because I'm thinking, where on earth did that go? Let me just see if I can see it over there somewhere. I'm not sure why I did that. I have got another one though, so I'll just use that one. So that's that. Which way? This way. Wow. What do you think? It doesn't detract too much from the design, does it? So I'm just re-threading my needle. There we go. My new needle, I should say. All right, so let's get these flowers on. So I'm thinking I could probably just thread the beads straight through. And then that would have the bead and the flower done in one go. Keep it quick and easy as best as possible. Right, I'm gonna have to just knot my thread a second. There we go. So I hope I know I probably said it yesterday, but I genuinely, I hope you're doing well. Today the weather is gone back to being overcast. It was nice blue skies yesterday. Tell you what, if I go through the middle of that flower, thread my bead on. There we go. Okay, perfect. So yeah, this is just I'm just going to go underneath that bead best I can. So yeah, it will look very slow stitchy, but I don't mind that myself. And then if I go through it a few times, then I know it's definitely on there. So yeah, I'll definitely do a snippet roll like this again. Not necessarily, you know, to go on a front cover like what I've done, although thinking about it, how gorgeous would this be as a cover just in its own right? You know, it would look pretty amazing, I think. in my opinion. Oh yeah, I was talking about my laptop, wasn't I? So yeah, I am expecting my new laptop today. Thankfully I chose a laptop, and then yeah, they had an offer on for free next day delivery. So I ordered it yesterday, once I discovered that I couldn't I couldn't edit any of my videos that I'd been filming. And yeah, it's coming today, 2 o'clock this afternoon, I think it's supposed to be, which is pretty good, I'd say. Right, don't lose your needle, because that is your the last one that you can see on your desk. Right, let's just knot that up. How does that look? Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, let's be honest, but I'm liking it. So let's pop this other one on. Just get a new bit of thread. There we go. Yeah, I couldn't believe it about my laptop. It's been doing some strange things for a while, so I probably should have been, you know, very aware of the fact that it was going to go kaput on me anytime soon. But it's done something very strange with the storage on the laptop. It now gives me errors, basically saying it has no space on it whatsoever. So once you load on Windows and you know, your general programs that you have to have on there, that's it. That's the space that it's got, which is like, I have no idea why that would have happened. Although I do suspect that it probably has something to do with sometimes I do my work on my bed. My dog joins me, and he has this awful habit sometimes where he's attention seeking, and he'll just slam the laptop down with his paw really roughly. And I do wonder whether something there has had an effect on it, you know, with him being sort of too rough with it, I suppose. So I mean, the laptop's 2.5 years old now, which, you know, I did think I would have it a lot longer than that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, that's come in today. So I suppose I'll be spending the rest of the afternoon just trying to get it all, you know, set up and everything, which, trust me, is not my idea of a fun, fun afternoon, let's be honest. I'd much rather stay in here doing this, but, well, you know, the next part of this, but that is life. So yeah, have you ever done a snippet roll? As I say, I've done one actually quite recently with my pinks and purple fabrics, just the, you know, completely like eclectic looking one, really. And oops, getting myself tied up in a knot here. And then yeah, this is the first one that I'm doing, which is more well, that's not really in the middle. There we go. Which is more neutral, which I think I do prefer. And then you can decorate it up, you know, bring some colour in with, you know, how you're doing the all this kind of stuff, you know, adding in the extra details. I've seen Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah do snippets quite a lot, and I've seen her make closures from them. You know, actually have the snippet roll as the closure, which I think will be the next thing for me to try. Probably won't be anytime soon, but you know, that could look really cool for a shabby chic journal. So I'm thinking I might give that a go one day. I think that could look very cool. So I'm not sure how to do these gems. I don't know if they need to be sewn on or what have you, but yeah, that is nicely on. Fabulous. So that's how we're looking so far. So yeah, I've got these. My stepmom sent me them, and they've got little like twisted wire at the bottom, which I thought maybe I could like punch them through, or I just take that bit off, because they've also got holes on them where I could thread the thread through like I would a bead. So I just wonder if I could just undo these. Oh yeah, they're just sort of twisting off. just have a little, ooh, look, see. Okay, so if I take that off, and then I could just dot those around, maybe. There we go. So yeah, I hope you don't mind me joining me for this little slow stitching session. I just thought it would make a change from all the fast-paced crafting we normally have to do, where I'm trying to show you a bunch of things all in one video. Let's just see. Oh yeah, that works. Okay, she says. And then if I go through this side, oops, get myself tied up in a knot. Let's just, nope, that hasn't worked. Oh, look at what I've done. Oh, goodness me. Okay, how do I undo this? I didn't even realise I was only trying to stitch with one thread. That's not going to keep things on there, is it? My fault for using such a big piece of thread, probably. Alright, should we try that again? Okay, so coming up again. Let's try that. But I think that did work with just threading it through these holes on the bottom. As I say, my stepmom just sent me these. I have no idea what they're from or why she had them. But I tell you, I love the sparkle, and being able to take off those wires actually makes them really, really, you know, useful for all this stuff kind of a thing. So, and she sent me a whole bunch of them. I must have like, I don't know, 15 or 20, maybe, something like that. But just trying to get it in the right place. And then I bring it down. Just making it up as we go along, aren't we, really? That's okay. What does that look like? Slightly sticking up a little bit, but if I maybe go through a couple of times, let's see, just to really get it on there. I'm sure it's overkill going through this many times, but best, especially being on the cover, it's best to just be definitely sure, isn't it? There we go. How's that? Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, fab. So that's one, and then I'll do another one in the other corner so that they're kind of, I suppose it's a little bit symmetrical then. Just tie that one off. And then I don't know if that will be it or whether I want to add any more sparkle. Oh, yes, that's pretty, isn't it? Look at that sparkle. I hope you love sparkle as much as I do. I will have sparkle in all my projects if I could. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I said to you, didn't I? My nickname once upon a time was Magpie, and it's so true. I love sparkle. I really do. So yeah, it's it's right up my street. How about you? Because I know not everyone likes sparkle. I'd be interested to know what you think about it. Is it your cup of tea? Oops. Okay, so if we pop this one somewhere here, and and then where are the other holes? There. Can't see what I'm doing. It's not going through that one. Right, tell you what I'll do, make it easy on myself. I'll just pull the thread down through and then I'll come back up again, and that might make it a little bit easier on myself. Right, let's try that again. Oh yeah, there you go. And I'll just do one more on this one because I've done it slightly differently, so just to be sure. we're definitely on there. Don't know if I want to add another couple of these or not. Yeah, that really doesn't want to go through that one. Goodness, might need my pliers. 2 seconds. There we go. I think that hole must have just been a little bit on the smaller side, but that's okay. We're in. And we feel secure, so all good. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. Now, I've just seen the postman, so I am very sorry if my dog suddenly goes berserk. He has a habit of, yeah, he just goes absolutely barking central when people come to the door. It's obviously his guarding instinct, but yeah, no idea where he's learned that from. Right, what do you think? Do we need any more? I have got a couple more, but I did wonder if we should have them dotted around, but let's see how we look if we were to be on the cover. Let me just chop off those overhanging threads. Yes, it's been really fun to do, and really quite quick actually. I mean, you know, yeah, pretty quick. You know, the stitching part of it is the slowest part really. Yeah, I think that might be maybe enough, because it's going to have a bow, you know, a big bow here with the sari, which this is the sari that I'm going to be using. As you can see, it sort of morphs between dark purple through to lighter purple and then back, you know, it's like an ombre kind of a thing. So I just want to see if I move this out the way so I don't lose my needle again. I just want to see how it would kind of look, I suppose, with the big bow. So kind of a thing. Won't be exactly like this, obviously, but if you were to have the bow here, might need to, you know, make the sari a little bit narrower so that it's not so bulky underneath this. But let's just sort of see. So you'd have the bow kind of like that, and then you'd have this. Yeah, I think that's probably enough, because obviously with this great big bow here, that does sort of part of the statement as well. Of course, now I'm looking at it and thinking, do I want the bow there or there? Or more towards there? Don't know. I think I'm going to have to think about that one, because I suppose the other alternative is the bow be on this side. So it'd be more like this. Because really, once the sari is, once we've decided, the sari can be anywhere. It's just where it should be. Is the trickiness. I really thought it would look nice just there. But now I'm thinking, maybe not. Yeah, I'll do a little bit of playing around with it, I think. Still need to figure it out, but I'm definitely happy with that. It might be that I change the idea of the closure, because I think that bow maybe is a little bit in your face. I suppose more like that would be best, but obviously you want it to be secure enough that it holds the folio closed. But yeah, I think because we've put that statement piece there, we kind of need that to be the focal point and not have anything detract from that. So I'll do some playing around with it, but I think in terms of adding more sparkle and gems, I think we're good. I think that's about as much as I'm going to add to it. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me making this one. I'll leave you there for now, because I appreciate video as per usual has gone a little bit long. And I might need to do a little bit of just stitching a little bit of this down, just where I had to sort of chop through my threads and things. But yeah, what do you think? Is it too bling, or is it just the right amount of bling? I really like it, but that's me. I'd love to know what you think. All right then. Thanks so much. As always, I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.